Minister Farrakhan's home at a dinner where there were Jews at the table also. And he was gracious. They seemed to get along fine. But then you get him in a situation where he's talking to the faithful, and the rhetoric gets a little heated. And there are people that point to things that he says and say that is anti-Semitic. Now, is this an expression of his emotions, or is this just a slip of the tongue, or, well, what's happening?
I'm not a psychologist, so I really can't speak to that, but I'll succeed to Dr. Filani if she has a comment.
Well, I mean, people can say what they want to say about anybody. I think that people are concerned with Minister Farrakhan, not because he's an anti-Semite, but because he's one of the most popular black leaders in the country, and he is independent. Nobody pulls his strings. And yes, there are Jews who don't respond to him as an anti-Semite. There are also black and Jewish relationships in this country that are based on an equal footing, that don't respond to and cater to, I think, the backwardness of some of the Jewish establishment leaders and organizations who seem to think that they can dictate to the black community what to do. I work with a Jew. His name is Dr. Fred Newman. We've built over the years a number of opportunities for blacks and Jews to come together. In fact, I just did a TV show involving a dialogue between Dr. Newman and Minister Louis Farrakhan on black-Jewish relationships. And that grew out of a meeting that the three of us had where we discussed the importance of Minister Farrakhan bypassing the Jewish established leadership, the Anti-Defamation League, the American Jewish Committee, and talking directly to ordinary Jewish people rather than having this mediating force, who I think participate in fanning the flames. They attack black leaders. I'm one of the black leaders who has been accused of being an anti-Semite. I happen not to be one either. I also just want to make...
Okay, wait just a minute. Let's ask now, Mr. Levine, when you hear people say that they like Farrakhan, or Jesse with the Jaime statement, and I know that Dr. Filani is on a list. She is considered by some Jewish organizations.
It's a hit list that the Anti-Defamation League put out on every black outspoken leader in the country.
Yeah. Now, can you take her word for this, or can you take Farrakhan's word what he says?
No, I really think that's, to be kind, call it an exaggeration. I think it's nonsense. The fact is that Louis Farrakhan has a long record of making anti-Semitic statements, both in his public meetings, through his publications, both his books and his weekly newspaper, The Final Call. And after a while, when somebody keeps repeating this kind of anti-Semitic screed, sooner or later you have to ask yourself, does he really believe this, or is he just saying this to push buttons? I used to think he was saying
it...
Excuse me. I used to think he was saying it to push buttons. But now I'm quite convinced that he really believes the kind of anti-Semitic garbage that comes from the Nation of Islam, from him himself, from his colleagues, and from his publications.
After the meeting that Dr. Newman, again, who's a Jew, and Minister Farrakhan and I had, Dr. Newman did an interview where he said Jews should welcome Minister Farrakhan into their homes, their synagogues, because of his interest that he's expressed in having a black-Jewish dialogue. So you would expect that the liberal Jewish establishment would respond to this. Minister Farrakhan happens to be the most popular black leader in this country, so you think that they would reach out.
Reverend Jackson is
the two of them together are at the top. Let's not quibble. He's pretty powerful.
Yeah, of course.
Jesse can't bring out 25,000 black folks in a room. Minister Farrakhan is at least up there. So
yeah, right, of course. Yeah,
right.
No,
so you would think that the liberal establishment would reach out if they're serious about doing something about black-Jewish relationships. But you have the likes of Anat Hintoff or Michael Lerner, who basically responded to Dr. Newman's request and statement by mocking and denigrating the meeting between him, Minister Farrakhan, and myself, because these people aren't serious about resolving black-Jewish relationships. They're not serious about it because it's not within the Democratic Party, which they can control, and then dictate to the leadership what it is that they want to do.
Dr. Filani, right now what we want to do is go to commercial. We'll be back in a minute.
the Holocaust of black people was 100 times worse than the Holocaust of Jews, they were angry with me for even comparing this. And it is because you feel that your life is so much more sacred than the lives of the Goyim or the lives of the Gentiles or the lives of the Asians, Arabs, and Africans.